Hi, my name is Eric Wilson. I'm an independent licensed mechanic with 30 years of service, and I've been contracted by Waleed Auto Sales to give you the 5-minute inside story so you can make an informed decision on whether this is what you're looking for or not. So in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to walk you through what the status of this vehicle is, and so you can just make an informed decision. Thank you. Now, starting with the left front wheel, what I want to do is just show you what the status of the strut is. Now, if you see under here, it is dry, okay? And that's a good thing because the struts are filled with oil, and if they're leaking, they're not effective. Your spring is intact. Your strut is indeed dry, dirty, but that's understandable. It's a brand new sway bar link which has been installed. The brakes on these things, the amount of brakes you got left here, these are brand new brakes. These have just been installed, I would say, within the last 500 kilometers, and your rotors are definitely not scored. So new rotors and brakes have been installed in this thing very recently. Now, if you look in here, this is the inner CV boot of the drive axle, and it is intact. And if you see behind it, there is no leakage, which is always a good sign. Now, this is the outer CV boot, and again, is intact. The outer control arm, which is right here, is again, I'm not sure if it's brand new or not, but it's definitely tight. That's on the right front side. Now, the right front, the tire tread here is very aggressive. It's hard to see pretty much in a video, but these are practically brand new tires with very aggressive tread. Okay, coming back to the rear left, again, your rear, again, practically brand new tires, very aggressive snow tires. Your spring is intact. Your shock is indeed dry, which is a good sign. Your brakes your rotors are not brand new, but they are definitely not scored. And the amount of brakes that you've got, you got about 25,000 K on the rear. They're about 60% wear, not as quite as new as the front. Your shock, you can see here, is good and dry, and I am not seeing anything of any concern in this rear left wheel. Now, just a quick perusal of your muffler. It's just this is a stainless steel muffler system which lasts forever, and here is your right inner CV boot, and if you notice, there's no leakage, which is always a good sign. On the right rear drive axle, and it's a little hard to see inside there, but your CV boot is not ripped. This is your right rear shock, which is good and dry, and I'll take you around to the side front there. Now, on the right rear, okay, now your right rear shock or spring is intact. Your rotor is definitely not scored, and it's getting about 25,000 K for your rear brakes. Your right rear tire, same as the others, very aggressive tread, at least above 90% tread left on there. Good amount of tread. Okay, on the front right strut, again, lifting up the rubber boot, it is good and dry, which is a good sign. Spring is intact. Shock is dry. Shred is dry, which is good. If you look inside there, it's not a CV boot, but it is a seal. This is the inner CV boot right here. That inner the inner seal is not leaking, which is a good sign. The outer CV boot is intact. The outer tie rod, which is just very critical to be solid. This is indeed solid. Your rotors are very current, and you've got new you've got like a brand new pads, so like probably about 40, 50,000, whatever you get on a set of brand new pads. And it looks like they've changed the caliper as well, because this is a very shiny new caliper. That's what I'm assuming. That's on the front right. Okay, this is a shot of the bottom of the chassis. This is your tranny pan, no leakage that I can see. This is your oil pan, no leakage that I can see, and everything's quite clean actually, which is surprising for most cars. And then here's your exhaust, which is, again, it looks a little rusty, but it's actually a stainless steel system which lasts pretty much forever. Okay, there's your rear diff, and no leakage. So yeah, looking pretty clean under here. Now just taking a look at the fluids. The oil is up to where it needs to be, a little dark, but other than that, nice and clean. Your what do you call it? Your coolant is up where it needs to be, and your brake fluid is up to where it needs to be as well. So yeah, so your fluid levels are definitely where they need to be and looking good. Now, one of the things I always check on any motor is I look under the oil cap, and if I see any white, what I call mayonnaise, that's an indication that there's an internal antifreeze leak, and there is no indication of that in this particular motor. So looking good. Now here's a shot of the exhaust when it's running, and very clean, which I'm not surprised, because only 2395, 23,000 K, 95 K, and this thing barely broken in. So folks, that's my inside story of this particular vehicle, because Waleed Auto Sales did indeed pay me to come in and to show you just what you need to know, because they just simply have nothing to hide. I'll be happy if you have any questions or any concerns. I'd be more than happy to tell you what I know about the vehicles. And have a good one. Thank you.